Good morning. So I've been spending time fighting with my little stand. I have two stands, and I don't like either one of them. The larger ring light that I have broke, so I'm not a happy camper about that. The light works, but it's all wobbly. And in the little stand that I got, it's cool, except for it keeps like tilting to the side, making the video like lopsided. It's pissing me off. So I was working on that this morning. Anyway, good morning. Thank you for joining. It is day 21. Day 21. So we're halfway done. It's 40 days. And so day 21 is going to be statement number 1. And remember, we're using the Abundance book, John Randolph Price. I'm really excited for those of you who've gotten it and who've been reading it and who are saying that this book has really been changing how you view your life. So we're back to statement 1 on day 21. I'm going to read it the way it says it in the book, and then I'm going to kind of put the spin on it for this week, or for these 10 statements. God is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. And I hope by day 21 you guys can really feel into this and know that this is true. Source energy is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity is individualized as me, the reality of me. So during the course of today, I'm going to tell you a story about my thyroid issue. I had a thyroid issue. It's hyperthyroid, but we'll get to that in a minute. We always hear your health is your wealth. It sounds like a cool catchphrase to say. And I wonder how many people actually understand what it means, because I think if we understood what it meant, a lot of us would treat our bodies differently. We would not take advantage. We take advantage of our bodies. Let me see if I can open my drink. I literally have to use a thigh vice grip right now so I can hold my phone. Strong thighs. To take the top. But strong thighs though, seriously. We take advantage of our bodies. We assume that they're here forever. We assume our bodies will do whatever we want it to do. We treat our bodies like we treat everything else. It's very ego-driven. We forget to realize that our body was given to us as a gift. This is a gift. We've established, at least in my teachings and transmissions, we've established that you are this hand of source energy that is stuck itself in this meat suit, right? So this is the gift you were given to come into this realm and experience life. Can you already see how that can give you a different perspective on your body? Your body is here to allow you to experience this realm however it is that it needs to be experienced, in alignment with the purpose of your soul and what it's here to learn and how it's here to grow, right? Because for some of us, that might mean coming into this realm without sight or without hearing. It doesn't make our experience any less than those of us who have all 5 senses. It makes our experience in some ways, of experiencing our senses even more delicate. Because when you lose one sense, the others become heightened. And that in itself can be a beautiful gift if we choose to see it that way. Same thing with a missing limb. It can be a gift. So these bodies are gifts that we have to walk through this realm. And yet, we fill them with some of the worst things. And it's not a judgment, it's a fact. If I say that I eat certain kinds of food, I can say it, and I can also know that the food is garbage and it's trash. I can be honest about it. I can be honest about, if there are store-bought cookies that, I would buy, because I just like how it tasted. Like that chocolate thingy with the cream filled in the middle. You know, dunk it in the milk. Like, oh my God, it tastes so good. Still trash. But I can't remember the last time I ate those, by the way. But man, I could go through a pack. I could go through a pack. So it doesn't negate the fact that at least we want to be honest with ourselves. Honest with ourselves about how we're treating this body. Because once we're honest with ourselves about it, then we can maybe start to make different decisions without the pressure or stress of weight loss, as though that's the only reason to have this body. There are some people out there who weigh more than what someone else thinks they should weigh and are in some of the best physical shape. And there are some people out there who's thin as rails and their bodies are not healthy at all. So please don't let weight be the only and the sole determining factor of your health. How is your heart beating? How is your lung capacity? So in full transparency, my lung capacity sucks. I have been sedentary for so long, and yoga's beautiful. It's a wonderful practice, and I've enjoyed, stretching out my body and that type of thing. But y'all, I realized I need to get back to some cardiovascular stuff, because walking down the street, talking on the phone, feeling out of breath does not feel good to someone who used to run. I don't like that at all. This abundance of this body that we have, the abundance that it allows us, it's a totality of wellness. It's full wellness. It's mind, body, soul. And the thing is that when our bodies feel healthier and stronger, our mental feels better. We feel that connection to the soul because we're clearing the channel. The body's like the channel, So let me get into this story about my thyroid. And disclaimer, I am not a doctor, though I was a certified personal trainer and fitness nutrition coach and all that, good stuff. And I was in the health and fitness industry for a long time, an avid gym goer and all that. So I've always been into health and fitness. I was fortunate enough to grow up with parents who had, because I grew up in the nation, I had How to Eat to Live as a book, as a source guide when I was a child. My parents had Back to Eden by Dr. Jethro Kloss. I grew up with these books in my home. And so on that, I'm grateful to my parents for that. I've always understood, and my parents have always made it clear that anything can be, especially my father, anything can be healed through the body and the mind. It was never a pops. It didn't have to be pop something first. So I already had the idea of homeopathic remedies and things in my mind. So thyroid. In 2011, I left my marriage, and it was hard. It was very hard. People think leaving a relationship is easy because you left, and it's not. There's a lot of inner turmoil. Am I making the right decision to do this? What about, our children? How will this divorce affect them? How will it affect their future relationships? Like, there's so much, am I being selfish? So much is going on in the brain. So that was August of 2011. I noticed in November, I started to lose weight. Maybe October, November, I was starting to lose some weight. And at this time, my weight was fluctuating in the 190s, I think, which was a lot for me. And so was I at 200? I don't know, but I started to lose weight. And at first I thought, must be the stress. Cool. I'm finally losing some weight. Then I noticed I couldn't work out. Like, I would work out, I would go for walks, and my heart was like this, literally. And I could feel it. My shirt would go like that. And so it started to freak me out. I'm still new to New York City. Well, I mean, I grew up here, but it's one thing to grow up here as a kid. I'm coming, I left New York City when I was 24. So I didn't really know how to navigate too much in New York City. So I'm coming back now. I'm like 37, 38, kids in tow. I know nothing about the school system. I don't really know too much about finding doctors and such, because I had one doctor before I left. And so I go to, the hospital near me, and it's like the clinics suck, right? Like public clinics suck. You get an appointment at 11, you don't get seen till like 1:15. What the fuck? So I think I go in, I don't even remember, this is all a blur. I end up getting tested. They tested my blood, but I never got the results. And so I'm still wondering what's happening with me. And now I'm thinking, well, do I have cancer? Because when people have cancer, they start losing weight. I dropped like 20 pounds. I dropped 20 pounds of muscle that I had built over the years. And now we're in March of 2012. And I finally get to a doctor. They tell me that I have, there's an issue with my thyroid. Oh, okay. Go to see the endocrinologist. Endocrinologist is like, yes, my levels were like, my T4, and it's okay if you don't know this stuff, but like, I think my T4 was at 0, which is like, it's just not working. And I think my T1, T2, there's 4 parts to what the stuff your thyroid does. And I'll explain what your thyroid does in a minute if you don't know. Anyway, the way my thyroid was working was it was not. I had reached the point of hyperthyroid toxidosis, where my thyroid just stopped working. So there are 2 things that happen, and this is largely with women. Your thyroid will slow down, hypothyroidism, which is what most people know. You start to gain weight. Your hair will fall out. No matter what you do, the weight just seems to keep coming and coming. Hyperthyroidism is the opposite. And while it might seem great, still many of the same symptoms, except you're losing weight. And mine had become very severe. So the endocrinologist was thinking, we could put you on meds to help regulate your thyroid, see what happens, or we can give you iodine. No, I'm sorry. Or we could burn out your thyroid, like burn it a little bit to get it in some balance, but then you would have to take this hormone for the rest of your life because your thyroid wouldn't be able to like produce. No. We're not removing anything from my body unless I will absolutely die if you don't. So I said, well, let's try the meds. Let's do that first. I took a test. They said I'm only giving my story as an example. I took a test. They tested me and said I had an autoimmune thing, Graves' disease. It's hyperthyroidism. Like I had the antibodies or something like that. And I just don't. It's not that I don't pay attention to those things. I just don't claim that shit. Like I don't. I understand medical science, and I'm not poo-pooing it. And please don't. If you've been given a diagnosis or something, go, well, Maisha said, don't. No, don't do that. I believe that the body has the ability to heal itself and right itself. I believe that once we hear we have something, it sets off a chain of events in our brain and bodies that now need to confirm that diagnosis in our mind. And so then our body begins to react to that. And I was not going to have my body reacting to saying that I had an autoimmune issue. I just wasn't going to do that. So I took the meds, and over time, my thyroid evened out, and all was well, and I started to gain weight back. It's one of the reasons why I need to work out, because I still lost a lot of muscle. So I have to gain weight back. So and was doing better. But me being me, I wanted to see what my body could do if I gave it an opportunity. And me being me, I also understood that my thyroid, so your thyroid is a little butterfly shaped thing in your throat that basically regulates the hormones in your body. All of them. It regulates the hormones. No thyroid, no hormonal regulation, no life. And so the idea of burning it, there's no replacing your thyroid. There's no thyroid transplant. That was gonna be it. I would have to take that medication or I would die. And all I kept thinking in my mind, this is how I think. There's a zombie apocalypse. I gotta run around trying to find this iodine or whatever this is. I'm just gonna die. Like, what? Like, do I really want to be in that position? I don't want to be in a position where if I run out of my medication, I'm gonna die. No, I don't want to do that. So I decided to try a holistic method. I did not tell the doctors. I took myself off the medication. And I did raw food I was planning on doing it for 30 days, but I did it for 28 because there was someone's birthday or some celebration and I knew I wasn't going to be able to do the raw food. It was going to be cake and my kids were going to be looking at me like, you're not eating cake? So I did raw food and went back and I didn't take the medication after that. And not only did I do raw foods, but I did, I got a whole kit from an herb shop, which I cannot remember the name of right now, I'm sorry, but it was charcoal and some other supplements, and I was like, no, because what I realized was my thyroid was my throat chakra was having some issues. It was having some issues. My throat chakra needed some love. You know, I had been in this marriage. It wasn't really the healthiest marriage, you know, and for either one of us, right? I stopped calling it toxic really because I don't know. It wasn't healthy. And it made sense given the experiences I'd had in my marriage, why my throat chakra was felt all like clogged, blocked, and me leaving just and my thyroid said and it you know, just like it's like the breaking of a dam, right? It's like you've been like this and then I left and it was like, oh my God. And my thyroid said, okay. And so it ramped up like it was, you know, and I could understand it from a metaphysical point and from a holistic point of view. So long story, extra long, because I didn't mean to go this long with it. I went back to the doctor and my thyroid was fine. And they're like, oh, this is great. The meds are working. And I said, no, I stopped taking the meds like months ago. And they're like, oh. Because if you tell a doctor you're doing that, they're going to be very afraid. And I'm not suggesting you do that. I know my body. I'll get to that in a minute. But anyway, so that was then, and I have not had any issues since then. You know, this talk of you could go into remission, all that, sir, no. I've not had an issue. I always get my thyroid checked. It's part of my screening because I've had this issue. So they're always going to check it, which is fine by me. I don't have a problem with that. You know, but not a blip, glip, nothing since then. So coming back to why I use the methods that I used and what I want to encourage you all to do in alignment with understanding that your body is connected to source energy. And that, you know, if you read Louise Hay's book, you can heal yourself, you can heal your life, and she has a listing of what our bodies experience and the energetic piece of that. I fully believe that our bodies are energetically connected to our souls and to source energy. I fully believe, and there have been too many stories of people who have healed themselves from certain things. And I know that there are people who, despite all of their best efforts, were not able to be healed of certain things. That's the crossroads between us understanding our journey, what our soul is here to learn and get, and our mind body. It's a lot, y'all, and it can get really deep because we want straight answers for things. Why was this person able to heal and cure themselves and this person had to pass away? And they were both, raw vegan or whatever. And, I don't know, maybe the other person was supposed to eat meat. Like, I don't know. I don't have answers for that. But I know that we're each here on a journey, and whether we like it or not, everybody's here for their own reason. And that's acceptance, but that's another lie. Today I want you to think about how well do you know your body? I'm going to talk about, what it looks like, where your stretch marks are, your wrinkles, your sags. Like we get that. We got that. Your gray hairs. How well do you know your body? Can you tell when something's off? Can you feel if your blood pressure is high? Do you notice the difference? Can you feel if there's been, wait, hold on one time, I have time. Can you feel if your glucose levels are high, too low? Do you know what to look for? Do you know how your body feels when it feels healthy? Do you know that you can feel your innards? It's not like you just got skin, like we act like you are in tune. You can feel into your liver, your kidneys, your heart. You can feel into your pancreas. You can feel into your thyroid. It's important that we know, people know more about the cars they drive than the vessel they drive. I used to say that when I was a personal trainer. People know more about what's under the hood of their cars, especially you men. Y'all could talk about all the shit underneath there, but you can't tell me anything about your kidneys. Nothing. Can't tell me about your prostate. Unless what the doctor told you. But you don't know your body. Your doctor knows your body. Not the same thing. We cannot know more about the vehicles that we drive around and not know as much about the vehicle that is driving us through this realm. So I encourage you all to know your body. I was able to do the things that I did in my story, and I was using my story as an example of what happens when you know your body. I just knew what to do. It wasn't really like I sat around thinking about it. And as I said, I was fortunate enough. There's some ways, y'all, in which I feel miserably at some life. Like, just real quick, my lack of discipline and commitment is atrocious. Like, I'm like a squirrel. Some of y'all grew up like disciplined, like, you get up in the morning, you do things regimentedly, and you get the shit done during your day. I could use some of that in my day. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this with y'all, to kind of get me in there. Right? So that's a shortfalling. One of the gifts that I got was the holistic piece and being able to know my body. So I want to encourage you to take time today to feel into your body. Like, feel into it. Take time and just breathe. Breathe through your diaphragm, breathe through your lungs. Understand the mechanisms, like what's happening when the air goes into my body and it's filling my lungs. And my lungs are actually in my back, not in my chest. So when I breathe, it shouldn't be this in my chest, because that's not where my lungs are. My lungs are back here. So, I should really be breathing in and expanding my back and my rib cage. Let me see how it feels to have the capillaries fill up and and see how when I breathe in, what happens to the rhythm of my heart, and when I breathe out, what happens to the rhythm of my heart. You know, you just start there with the things that you can kind of sort of begin to feel into. Because when you feel, your health is your wealth. When you feel into your body, you will be able to tell if something's not right. And then when you go to the doctor and you're explaining to them something's not right, and they're like, nah, it's this, you will know that you need to go someplace else and get a second opinion. And not just, well, the doctor must have said, so that's it. Because you know your body. You should know your body better than anyone else. That's sexually too. Because when you know and understand your body, you can better discuss your health with professionals. Because you're clear. So that's, if there's anything I can leave you with today, it's really just knowing your, let's start this 10 statements with you just starting to get reacquainted with your body, get reacquainted with how it operates, get reacquainted with your joints, get reacquainted with your head and where the headaches are when they come. When do they come? How long do they last? Is it on the front, the right, the left side? How long has this been going on? Not just from a diagnosis point of view, but from an understanding. Did this happen after I ate Chinese food? Did this happen after I ate a steak? Did this happen after I spoke to this person or that person? Is this an energetic thing or a physical thing? Monitor what's happening in your body. Get to know it. And I'll leave you with this statement again. Source is lavish, unfailing abundance, the rich, omnipresent substance of the universe. This all-providing source of infinite prosperity and health is individualized as me, the reality of me. This source energy that flows through your body, this source of your great wealth and your great health, your health is individualized as you. This source that provides this abundance of energy and health is you. Feel into your body today and get to know you. Get to know yourself internally. This is how we starting off this 10 days. Because what the hell sense does it make to have a whole bunch of money and you just be sick and not able to enjoy all of it, not able to walk around, you know, do all the stuff. No, you want to enjoy this playground. And part of that is understanding your body. We'll continue this tomorrow. I love you all. Have a fucking abundant day. Bye.